Thanks you guys again for your service during the World War II. Now I'd like to introduce Randy Elliott. He's the guy in charge of the Tri-Flight of Honor. Kind of have a friendship through emailing.
There was a point in my career I thought I might want to be a teacher. And today, standing in front of 100 kids, I realize how nervous I am.
I just want to say one thing. We've got our TV audience out there that they're having a hard time hearing, so what we're going to do is close the TV part of it. But I do want to say thank you to all of you guys. We're going to stay in here and answer a few more questions before you leave, but enjoy your flight. I don't know if you realize you're actually in an airplane right now. There's the airplane and you're sitting in the plane. So we're preparing you for that flight. But again, thank you for all you've done for our country, and thank you for what you've done for our students here at Thomas. I hope you enjoyed the trip to D.C. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to speak for myself, but I just said to one of them, if I go home and tell my family about this, they will not believe me. And I got out of the service in, 1946. And this is the first time. I'm going to go back, way back. We all looked like, young kids at that time. When I came back out of the war on Guam and Iwo Jima, landed in San Diego on a troop ship, and we came into a big place where they're going to put the ship in and let us out. And it was a big old factory area, and all big doors were closed. There was nothing there, and we thought, boy, look at the giving we're having to come back to. Well, unbeknownst to us, they were just maybe 15 or 20 minutes, and then they opened the doors, and the Marine Corps band came out. Well, you guys and gals beat it.
This meeting today is quite a surprise to all of us who came today. But there's one thing that I'm so glad we had this opportunity. Those of us who were in the wars were preparing and thinking about you people long term. You don't realize. But when I come to this room and see the wonderful young people that are here today, recognizing what we had prepared, but you are the things that we are looking forward for this country, and I have never been so surprised and so pleasantly surprised at seeing the wonderful quality of young people that are going to take this country to where it should be. Amen. Thank you very much.
Martina.
How did the weather affect your jobs?
Oh, that's good. How did the weather affect your job?
Sometimes good, sometimes bad.
Sometimes real bad.
Real bad.
Well, give me an example.
I was on New Britain when it started raining the night that we landed. And it rained for 17 straight days, just monsoon storm. Not a storm, just solid downpour rain. 17 straight days.
Did you have to continue to work while it rained?
Yes, ma'am. On the 20th day, I pulled my shoes off. I hadn't had them off since I've been on the island. And I didn't have any socks on. The socks just ground up on the mud and stuff. I was in mud up to here part of the time. And I got, of course, you would know what I'm talking about, jungle rot.
I don't know.
Yeah, I had great ulcers on my legs, and I was covered all over with something like prickly heat, only it was oozing blood and water. And at night, we had to be real still, and our clothes would stick to us, and then we'd have to get in the creek and lay down and break those clothes loose to go on. So I went back to the sick bay and inquired what could be done. And a kid with me that cried all night. I took her back and said, well, we can't do anything for you. And I said, well, you can take Sam and do something for him. You don't have to do it for me, but you're going to keep him because he's going to get us all killed. So it wasn't a bed of roses, and I don't like to even complain about it. I love this country. God knows I love this country. And I love the poor. And if I had to have a little Marine coming along when I got out, I would make a career of it. But when I came out, the Lord saw fit to switch the branch of service I was going to be in. So He called me into the ministry, and for 40 years I ministered.
Oh, that's wonderful. How old were you when that was going on? When you had the jungle ride?
I was about, well, I know I pulled my shoes off. It was in January, and it was my 20th birthday when I pulled my shoes off.
So young to have to.
So I have some fond memories.
I hope you write them down so people can read them later on.
There's lots of tales to be told. But you know, the one thing that gets to me, and thinking about the monument that we're to go look at, I think about those guys who never shaved, that hit the beach, and never come back. Yes. They're entitled to this monument. They're the heroes. They're heroes. Well, I can't say enough for them. You've got to face it before you know what it's really like.
Oh, I can't talk.
I think that's definitely what
Any more questions? Zach?
What would you like my generation to remember about World War II?
What would you like my generation to remember about World War II?
Well, I'd like for you to remember one thing, that we worship a God that can take care of each and every one of us here today. He's took care of me and my family, and I just pray that each one of you leave here with something that you can remember. But I want to tell you just a quick story. I was on a minesweeper, 135-foot wooden boat, and we were on the way into Nagasaki and Hiroshima to invade that island. And we were riding waves. They were 40 and 45 foot high. Now you can imagine how this little box that I was on could make a journey like that. But Missouri told us, radioed and told us to fall in behind her wake so we could stay afloat. And we finally made it over behind her, and she was taking all the blunt, and we were falling in her wake. But that's not the truth of the whole story. On Iwo Jima, I didn't get no sleep for 4 days and 4 nights. And you could hear, as we went around that island sweeping mines,